Welcome to another blogging video. This video is specifically about our Shopify store, why we chose Shopify, some of the apps that we use, and just some like inside scoop on what we like about it, what we don't like about it, etc. So if you are thinking about opening up a shop that is associated with your blog or website, here's a little bit about our experience. All right, so to get into the video, I'm gonna give just a short background on why we even have a Shopify store. So I have a website, it's called By Sophia Lee. It is a blog that has turned into a lot more than just a blog. And about 2 years after I started By Sophia Lee, I realized that I had some opportunities to earn more money through my own products. But also I had an opportunity to fill a few voids that I saw on the market that I knew my readers would really enjoy. So that led me to opening up my own shop. Before I just used affiliate links and other people's products, and I've learned so much. It is a lot different and harder to have your own store and your own products versus just working with other businesses and using their affiliate links. But you will make so much more income and you really form a deeper connection because your readers can have your own product, which is incredible. Okay, first things first. So there are a lot of different shopping platforms that you can host your store on. We chose Shopify, or I chose Shopify. When I started it, I was a one-person team, strictly because it was like the most popular out there, and so it was easiest for me to do research on it. I knew a few people who had Shopify stores, but there's also like WooCommerce I know. If I was to do it again, I would 100% do a Shopify store, so I would just recommend you probably doing Shopify. At least that was my thought process. So how basically it works is I have my blog and then my Shopify store is like completely separate, kind of. So my blog is called bysophialee.com and then my shop currently is called shop.bysophialee.com. However, we are in the process of changing it because the shop has become a lot more of a company than before. It was like fully associated with my website, and now I want it to kind of be its own individualized company that is still under the BSL brand, but we more it's like separate. It's the same, but it's separate type of situation. So we will be changing the name to something that isn't By Sophia Lee, but currently it is shop.bysophialee.com. I believe I worked with Shopify to do that for me, or I just researched. I know I built up the entire first website, which was kind of a shit show to be honest, but how I figured out how to do it was I just researched in YouTube and Googled so much, like so much. If you want to set up by yourself, just prepare yourself. It is not an easy thing to do. If you have the money to hire someone to build out your Shopify website, or get a theme, which I'll go into later on, I highly recommend because it is so hard and it's a lot more involved than I thought, and there's a lot of coding involved. But I figured out somehow, this was like 3 years ago at this point, so I'm kind of forgetting the like nitty gritty of it, but I know for sure my name is shop.bysophialee.com and I had to figure out how to do that. So you're gonna have to figure out how to do that too. It's possible, clearly. And so how I link the two is I just will like put a link on bysophialee.com. Like they're not the same website. So for me to get on to bysophialee.com, I go to WordPress. For me to get on to my Shopify store, I go to Shopify. As far as plans, Shopify offers all different types of plans. So we use just the basic plan currently. And then something that you'll have to think about if you're selling anything really, ask your accountant about this, is sales tax. So we use TaxJar, which basically that was this decision between our accountants and ourselves that the accountants can do what TaxJar does for us, but it would take them a lot more hours, which is a lot more expensive because they obviously our accountants charge an hourly rate that is like very expensive. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties. The camera died, so I'm on a roll. I'm gonna keep filming it on the iPad. I know the quality is not as good, but it's not about the quality. It's about the content of what I'm saying. So basically, TaxJar is what we use for sales tax. You definitely need to be thinking about sales tax as you're selling products. I know in Wisconsin, even on digital products, you need to pay sales tax. So that's just another thing to consider on top of everything. There's just a lot of stuff involved in it. But like I said, you can make a lot more money. So it is a great idea. I would do it all over again and all over again, but those are just things that you need to think about. Another thing to note is when I first started the website, I just did digital products, which is amazing because it's all passive. And I think that was a great thing for me to start with because I could kind of figure it out. Like, you know, before, when I first started my Shopify store, honestly, I was like 19 years old. Sales tax was not even the top of my mind. And so instead of like having to get a ton of inventory in, which is a whole nother ordeal, I was able to just learn from designing my digital products and then really earn passive income, because once I designed them, I was able to only update them like every couple of months, and it continued to earn revenue for me. So that just taught me the basics, which then last year, so 2 years after we started, or after I started just like the digital store, I was able to turn those digital products into tangible products, which was a very natural progression. And I was able to get a ton of feedback on the digital version of my product. And so I could take that feedback and put it into the tangible actual like product and make sure that it's a solid product. I was known for that product and I had experience in it. So when I was actually getting the product, that was a whole nother thing, because at that point you need to start thinking about inventory, about damage, which has been a hard lesson over here for us, figuring out how much to calculate for damage, how much money to invest in it, all different types of things. But I had background knowledge. Instead of just going like full force with the Shopify store, I was able to have some background knowledge on it. So that is kind of like a little bit about that. So basically we have the Shopify basic plan. We use TaxJar. For reviews, we use Judge Me, which we found great success in that, and that's like $15 a month. So that's really the only added expense on top of the basic Shopify plan that we have to pay for. And then TaxJar, obviously we have to pay for too. As far as like the design of Shopify, I've already gone over that it is a pain to put together. Definitely try it out if you want to try it out. I did it and it worked for 2 years. So after the 2 years, when we were launching the actual like tangible products, we wanted to up the look of our website. So we bought a theme. I will say that the theme was also kind of difficult to put together because it's just like a lot more coding and you have to figure out purchasing and do you want to add in PayPal and different stuff like that. But it did elevate the website to the next level. If you go to it right now, you'll be able to see the theme that we got. There are so many different themes out there to choose from. You're just gonna have to really do your research. I would say that we like ours. We don't love ours, so I really don't want to give out the name for it because I don't think I'd recommend it, to be honest. But we have had amazing success in the Shopify helpers that you can hire, and we do it all the time. Basically anything that we need at this point, we just put out a request on the Shopify page and we will hire a person who they're from all over the world to help us put that together, and that's been like super successful. Now that we have a much more established business on our Shopify store, we are hiring a person to completely redo the website, just make it a lot more legit. So you'll see in like the next year. However, get this, you guys, I just thought this was interesting. So we found a website that we loved that was a Shopify store. So we reached out to the creators of it. Guess how much they wanted to charge to brand our Shopify store and to design it? Just take a moment in your head and think about it. $100,000. $100,000. We're like, oh my gosh. So we're gonna get a lot of other quotes and see it. Maybe they're all like that. I don't really know. maybe then we're gonna be designing our website for the rest of our lives in-house. But you can definitely, I think our theme was $100. So you can definitely do it for like not $100,000. We have. So yeah, that kind of covers the Shopify history on how we've done it. I feel like I've made this clear enough, but it is a lot more complicated than your websites, like your blog, and you just have to think a lot more businessy, I would say, because you're dealing with money that is coming directly to you, whereas on your website, you're dealing with ad agencies, and affiliates who kind of do like a lot of that background work for you. So, okay, well, that wraps up this video. If you have any Shopify questions, please put them below. I'm gonna do like a Shopify Q&A video in the next few weeks to like few months, whenever we can fit it in our content calendar. But I'd love for you to ask some more questions down there. We've learned so much in the past like year, especially now that we have our tangible products. And it's been a really, really amazing learning experience for everyone on the BSL team. Probably one of my favorite learning experiences yet, to be honest. So definitely put your questions below. Sorry about the camera issues, but like I said, it's the content that matters, not the camera quality. The camera quality does make it a lot better though. So make sure to subscribe to this channel. Every single week I put out a blogging specific video. It always has to do with blogging. Like obviously this is not about specifically blogging, but it's hand in hand with our website. So hopefully that was helpful, and I will see you at next week's blogging video.